Aspiring songwriter Violet Sanford, after getting a job at a woman-run NYC bar that teases its male patrons, comes out of her shell.
This is Ryan.
And this is Ashley.
And this is Ruining Our Childhood.
Hi, guys. Another great week
Yes.
has passed us.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Friday, so you know what that means.
We're recording an episode.
Yep.
Yeah.
And this week, my theme, though I didn't really discuss it with anybody, was thinking of movies that I really loved the soundtracks when they came out.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a couple songs on this movie's soundtrack, Coyote Ugly, that I loved as a kid. And also in Save the Last Dance. The whole album is amazing. So,
Did you own either album?
yes. Save the Last Dance, I had the first part, and then they had like an extended second one that they came out with. Totally bought it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was everything. But Coyote Ugly definitely was up there as well.
Yeah. It was our most recent poll winner.
Yes.
For if you don't know what we're talking about, we put up a poll every week on Instagram.
On
And
our
you guys,
stories.
Yeah, and you guys pick the movie we watch.
Yeah. And
It ended in a tie.
It did. Again.
Yes. But I shot out a text message to my brothers and let them fight it out. Because I know neither one of them have Instagram and voted.
I think your one brother has an Instagram. He just refuses to follow us, apparently.
Oh, okay.
Like an asshole.
Fair.
I'm just kidding.
Fair.
I'm literally just kidding.
Yes.
So they chose Coyote Ugly.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Not surprising.
No. It was my pick, too.
I could have went either way because I've seen both the movies too much.
Too much?
Probably too much. So this is 2000 classic Coyote Ugly. Why don't we go down memory road, not lane?
No. Memory Road.
Yes.
That's what we do on this podcast.
We mess up cliches.
It's what I do.
That specifically, yes, you.
Yes. Exactly.
Hit me with some 2000 facts and we'll discuss our memories.
So, fun fact, this movie was actually released on August 4th of 2000. So, just had its 21st anniversary.
Mind explosion.
Yeah.
That's insane.
And it was quite successful. Had a budget of $45 million, and it made $114 million. My fun fact for the year 2000 was, in 2000, the owners of Netflix, Mark Randolph and Reed Hastings, met with Blockbuster and tried to sell Netflix to Blockbuster for the price of $50 million.
In 2000? When did Netflix start?
Netflix started in 1997.
Oh.
And their initial business model included both DVD sales and rentals by mail.
Okay.
They expanded their business in 2007 to include streaming. The crazy thing is they offered it for $50 million. In 2020, Netflix was valued at $25 billion.
Damn. And
Blockbuster filed bankruptcy in 2010.
Yeah.
So
I think they mentioned that on that Blockbuster documentary, The Last Blockbuster.
Mm-hmm.
I remember them vaguely mentioning that they had a chance to buy Netflix.
Yes.
But I didn't realize it was early on in 2000. That's crazy.
I didn't realize it was that early because I remember Netflix around 2004.
Yeah.
That's when you would start seeing the commercials for renting the DVDs and, hey, we'll just drop them in your mailbox. Keep them as long as you like.
That's true. I was trying to think, I'm like, there's no way that they were around that early. But now I realized, like, yeah, I was using the service in like 2005.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. It's always interesting when companies make incredibly, we can look back in hindsight as incredibly bad decision. Like, just terrible.
Yeah. I mean, how are they supposed to know, though? You know, like, nothing is promised or guaranteed. So it's so random what becomes popular or a staple.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's people whose jobs are to predict those things, but even then, I'm like, at some point, it's just a guessing game.
No, and it's very easy to look back and go, wow, they were idiots. But yeah, who knew?
Yeah.
I remember on our Spider-Man episode, I had mentioned that Marvel offered Sony the rights to all of their characters for $25 million, and they said, we just want Spider-Man. There's no marketability with these other characters. Yeah. Fast forward 12 years, Disney paid $4 billion for it.
Yeah.
And in hindsight, that was a steal.
Mm-hmm. For as much money as they made off Marvel now.
Yeah. What is your fact?
I had a hard time finding a 2000 fact when we did Scary Movie a couple weeks ago, but I did happen upon the fact that Nokia had come out with their kind of like their brick style phone, which became very popular in high school for me. But the fact that I read, which was crazy to me, is that on average today, people use their cell phone 5.5 hours a day. So the fact of the way it was written on this website I read was like people had 5 more hours of their day because their cell phone barely could do anything. So you weren't glued to your cell phone. And that's insane to me that we lose on average of 5 hours a day just looking at our phones. I mean, you could also say, you're working on your phone or you're doing something, but I'm guessing that's mostly like mindless scrolling.
Yeah. That's insane. Because, you think back to that Nokia phone that I did not have because I didn't have a phone. All of my friends had it.
Yeah.
And you could basically play Snake.
Yeah.
And make a phone call.
Which, when I got my first cell phone, which it was a newer version of the original Nokia phone that came out in 2000, it still only had Snake.
Yeah.
It was just a little bigger.
And I remember it was a huge deal that you could switch out the face plate on the phone.
That's the one I had. Mm-hmm. That was the pinnacle of technology.
Yeah. But you do bring up a good point. People can work on their phones. You can listen to music. You can watch TV. You can shoot an email off. You can do so much more.
Tell us more about these things that are in our pockets.
So the best thing you can do is you can still make a phone call.
That's true.
Yeah.
And text message.
Yeah.
I don't know if you said that. Technology, man. And Netflix.
Yeah. Hopefully we don't have another movie from 2000 for a little while.
I don't know. There's some classics.
Yeah.
This movie, especially, like I said, I watched it so much because the main character wanting to be a songwriter / singer, that was in my wheelhouse.
Now we do the answering of the question. Do we think this movie will hold up?
Your wording was just as good as the summary I read, which I had to read 7 times because whoever wrote this put way too much extra details in between the commas. Anyway, what do you think?
I'm going to say it's going to. There's going to be some fashion. I'm sure that's going to be fun to talk about. But I remember seeing the movie in theaters and enjoying it. And they had a very pretty cast.
What did you enjoy about it, Ryan?
Yeah, for a 16-year-old Rai, there was a very pretty cast.
Yeah.
But it was also a fun movie. And it had fun music.
Were you calling them pretty back then? Or were you like, oh my God, they're so hot?
Yeah, no, those were the words I was using. I was like, they're very attractive. That's how 16-year-old boys talk.
So you think it's going to hold up?
I think so, yeah.
I'm going to disagree with you.
Okay.
And here is my reasoning. I think this movie comes off as if it will be some sort of feminist, because it's a woman-led bar and it's, the cast is primarily women, but I think what I remember from it is that they are kind of like those women that they hate other women still. Like, I think there's going to be a lot of like female hatred in there.
Some cattiness.
Yeah. But I mean, I do know these are like tough women. Obviously, what they say in the summary, they make fun of their male patrons, they abuse them, and that's the fun of the bar. But I just feel like there's going to be a lot of like sexist jokes towards women that the women characters are going to be saying. And I don't know if the main character of Violet is going to be as likable as I liked her when I was, 14.
Okay. Fair.
But I have seen this movie in the last 10 years, I think. So, and it's still watchable, maybe? I don't know.
I hope.
But I'm going to say it's not going to hold up.
Okay. We might be giving out different awards again.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah. Where can you stream this?
you can stream it on Hulu, which
Very
is
nice.
exciting.
Yeah.
I always get excited when a movie is actually on a streaming service that we already pay for and I don't have to pay extra. I was actually quite excited that both the movies we picked were on streaming services. So, yeah, you can get this on Hulu or you probably rent it too. But if you have Hulu, just watch it there, man.
Yeah. Why rent it if you don't have to?
Yeah. Or if you own it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm surprised I don't. But
Me
I
too.
have songs from the soundtrack probably still on my phone. And I probably got them from Napster. Bringing it back to the scary movies. Fun
Yes.
fact. So, shall we
Hit the pause.
go watch Coyote Ugly and come back and talk about it?
Sounds good.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. Okay, and we're back. We just finished watching Coyote Ugly. Our first category is Well, Hello There,
Well, hello there.
where we talk about any cameos of famous or recognizable actors or actresses that we forgot were in the movie. And who did you notice?
The main character we kind of talked about her in the beginning of the podcast was Piper Paraboo. She plays Violet Sanford.
There you go.
Cannot get that right. Piper Paraboo is most famous for this movie, I would say. But she also was in a USA TV show called Covert Affairs, and more recently was in Penny Dreadful, City of Angels.
Ooh, and she also has a new show coming out this fall with Ashley favorite, Scott Foley, called The Big Leap.
Yeah.
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 That will be interesting
Yeah,
to see if it gets canceled because they cancel everything.
they really do.
Who's your first one?
My first one was Melanie Linsky. She played Gloria, who was Violet's best friend. She's been in a ton of things. She was in Sweet Home Alabama, Up in the Air, and more recently some episodes of Young Sheldon.
Okay. Nice. John Goodman plays Bill, Violet's dad, and which I'd like to see the age gap on that. Or in this movie, he does not look that old, you know?
Yeah,
But I guess he probably is a lot older than you think.
I looked him up. 69 years old.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's a lot older
Piper
than I
Paraboo
thought.
is what, late 30s, early 40s?
I'm thinking early 40s.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I think he just looks so young
Yeah.
in this movie. Because he's very clean shaven and yeah. Anyway, you know John Goodman from Roseanne, the newer reboot, The Connors, and Righteous Gemstones
Oh, yeah.
on HBO.
I forgot about that one. Yeah. Next, I have Ellen Cleghorn. She plays an employee at Rough Vinyl Records, which is one of the record companies that Violet tries to pass off her demo at. Ellen Cleghorn was on SNL back in the day.
Yes.
She's also appeared in Grown Ups 2 and also the movie Second Act with Jennifer Lopez.
Okay.
Yeah.
Adam Garcia plays a character named Kevin O'Donnell. Pretty much the thing I know him from is this movie. And he was also in like Riding in Cars with Boys.
Okay.
It's a movie with Drew Barrymore that came out around this time as well. But he was in an episode of Flight of the Conchords.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
As an obnoxious Australian.
okay.
And I remember when we saw that episode, I was like, hey, it's the guy from Coyote Ugly. And more recently, he was in Murder on the Orient Express.
Gotcha. Bridget Moynihan plays Rachel, who was a bitch. Bridget Moynihan was in the movie I, Robot, John Wick, and also the television show Blue Bloods.
Yeah. It's a Larry favorite.
Yep.
The next one I have is Greg Pitts. He plays a bartender. He's only in like one scene. He plays the joke on Violet. He says that Kevin is this high-end producer and he's just, he just works at the bar too. But he was in some things. The thing I recognized him from was Office Space. I believe he worked in The Office, but he only had like a couple lines, but he was one of the baggy characters. I don't know. And he was in an episode of Weeds.
Okay. I thought he looked familiar and could not place him, so probably Weeds, I guess.
Yeah.
Tyra Banks plays Zoe, and Tyra Banks was on the very popular television show, The Tyra Banks Show, and also America's Next Top Model. And then way back in the day, she was in the movie Life Size with Lindsay Lohan.
And she was in the sequel,
Yeah.
Life Size 2. which I don't think Lindsay Lohan was
I
in.
was going to say, yeah.
Yeah. Maria Bello
Mm-hmm.
plays Lil, who is the owner of the Coyote Ugly.
Mm-hmm.
More famously, A History of Violence
Mm-hmm.
and NCIS.
Yeah.
I think she had her own show, too, at one point.
I know she was on ER back in the day, but
Yeah.
obviously that was not her show.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know she was on NCIS until I looked her up, and I was like, oh, that's what she's been doing the last, 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah.
Next, I have Isabella Mikko. She plays Cammy, who's another one of the employees at the Coyote Ugly. She was on SVU, Deadwood, and the Amazon Prime show The Hunters.
I remember her episode on SVU because I want to say they were doing a sting for Russian mail order brides / sex workers. And I want to say she was helping them, but then what was his name? Their original captain. It started with a C.
Cragen?
Cragen.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of falls in love with her a little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
SVU is amazing. My next one is Caitlyn Olson.
Mm-hmm.
She was just a bidding customer, which, come to find out, there's a lot of random people just as a patron in the bar. The first time they do the let's bid on Kevin.
Yes.
Caitlyn Olson, you may know from Always Sunny in Philadelphia
Mm-hmm.
and The Mick
Yep.
and a bunch of other things. She has bit parts in most comedies.
Yeah. And she's on Hacks as well.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. With Jean Smart.
Yeah, I watched the first 2 episodes. I don't remember her, but maybe she comes in later.
Yeah.
They were still introducing, the plot and the main character.
Susan Yeagley, she plays another one of the bar patrons that's bidding on Kevin. She was on an episode of Reno 911, which they famously get held up, and she's trying to tell the deputies they're being held up, and they're oblivious to it. She was also Jessica Wick, who was the Sweetums employee on Parks and Rec.
She was the CEO.
Yeah. And then
Employee.
Well-
she takes out the trash.
and then also she was on an episode of Single Parents, which was a great TV show that got canceled way too soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Mhm.
Another random patron of the bar, but also just listed as college guy, Johnny Knoxville.
Yeah.
Obviously, Johnny Knoxville's from Jackass, Bad Grandpa, all of the things in the mid-2000s that had to do with Jackass.
Yes. And the other bar patron who's next to Johnny Knoxville is Chris Weil. He was in the movie The Duff with, help me out here,
Mae Whitman?
Mae Whitman. Thank you.
Was he a teacher?
I believe so.
Okay.
And he was also on Young Sheldon.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he famously, pranked the American Idol cast and managed to get himself, a ticket to Hollywood.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yes.
He was also in Evolution. I think he played a college student.
Okay.
We did Evolution with our friends at 88 Miles Per Hour podcast.
Yes.
It's on their feed. Go check it out. It was about a year ago.
Check out some of their other episodes because they're
Obviously.
hilarious.
That was implied.
Yes.
My last one, well, there's 2 more, but my last one is Alex Borstein.
Mm-hmm.
She also plays another patron of the bar, a bidding customer at the end. You know Alex Borstein from Family Guy. She voices Lois, Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and back in the day she was on Mad TV.
Yeah. My last one was John Fugelsang. He plays Richie, who is a bar owner, I believe.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He replaced Bob Saget as the host of America's Funniest Home Videos when I was a kid.
That's why he looked familiar.
Yeah, he co-hosted with Daisy Fuentes.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, I guess he was the co-host of John McEnroe's show on MSNBC called McEnroe.
Sure.
Yeah.
I love John McEnroe.
Yeah, love John McEnroe. Not so much John Fugelsang.
Aw. I guess my last one is a cameo at the very end. Leanne Rimes herself,
Mm-hmm.
is at the very end of the movie singing Violet's song. Spoiler alert, Violet gets everything she's hoped for.
Yep.
The end. Okay, bye. Is that all you had?
That is all I had.
Want to move on?
Yes.
The next categories. Oh, do we want to take a break? We should take a break.
We should take a... Okay, and we're back.
The next category is called Kids Would Call It a Throwback. We call it the prime of our teens, where we talk about fashion, dated references, offensive jokes, and any noticeable technology. What did you notice as far as the fashion?
There was some good 2000s fashion.
Oh, yes.
At one point, Cammie, I believe, is taking Violet around to try on some new clothes because she needs to fit the motif of the Coyote Ugly. And just some of the stuff that Violet tries on, one was this weird blue and lime green fur jacket,
Yeah.
which looks hideous, but I could see people wearing it at that time.
I think this is the movie that I blame for how much bedazzled things were popular. Because almost every single one of their shirts, like when they're working in the bar, has like a bedazzled design.
Mm-hmm.
And I was never even a fan back then. I did have a couple shirts because it was kind of unavoidable for a while.
Yeah.
You couldn't even buy clothes without having some sort of gemstone on them. And then the brightly colored cowboy hats. I know a couple weeks ago I talked about how I had those like pleather snakeskin pants, and I blame this movie for thinking I could pull any of that off. Or that I'd want to pull anything.
I was going to say, you're watching this movie where it's pretty women that are a little bit older than you, and that's what they're wearing.
And they're confident.
Yeah, that's what I need to wear.
Yeah.
Me, Ryan, needs to wear bedazzled shirts,
Okay.
leather pants, and small cowboy
You
hats.
could pull it off.
Mm-hmm.
There was a point, I think she was on a date with Kevin, where Violet was literally wearing all purple, down to, because it ended up being the first time they hooked up, purple underwear and bra. And I'm like, just because your name is Violet doesn't mean you have to have all violet things.
Oh, God.
It was a great outfit coordination.
Yeah, I didn't put that together, that it literally went all the way down to the underwear. I wonder if she had Violet socks on.
Probably.
When Violet finally performs, her backing band, they had to have gone and shopped at Douchebags R Us. They all had tiny sunglasses on, little spiky hair.
Was it had a little blonde in there?
Yeah, yeah. It's not a good look.
I also loved in that scene, I noticed Violet's amazing zigzag part.
Yes.
Which, again, tried to pull off so much when I was in junior high. Did not work because my hair is very thick and it only knows how to do like one thing.
Yeah.
And it's just sit on my head. And when I try to like change the part, it's like, yeah, no, not bro.
I could see hairs going like, no, I'm going this way.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be a pain.
Did you have anything else about the fashion?
No, I think that's it.
Okay. What about dated references?
I only had one, and that was at the point where Kevin is trying to build up Violet's confidence with singing. So he has her perform in front of a bunch of cardboard cutouts of celebrities. And it was just some of the celebrities. I feel like if a kid was watching it nowadays, they'd have no clue who they were. There was Jenna Elfman.
There was a good assortment, too.
Yeah, there was still like James Dean and like timeless people, but Jenna Elfman and Fabio.
Yeah, and there was Patrick Swayze and George Bush, and Leo was in the back.
Yeah.
Put Leo in the front.
Come on. Jeez.
Abe Lincoln was on. I like that.
Yeah.
Violet did reference Bridge Over Troubled Water by Simon and Garfunkel as the reason she wanted to become a songwriter.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Fair.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Did you have any offensive jokes?
I did not.
I didn't really either. I just think that there was some run-of-the-mill fat shaming, kind of, more centered around her dad. Because she was really concerned about his weight and that he wasn't going to be eating right, which I'm like, okay. He does seem to eat a lot of fast food when she's not around, but
Yeah.
get off his back. And but of course, then he had a heart attack, of course, because only fat people can have heart attacks. That was sarcasm, by the way.
Yes.
And there was a lot of slut shaming as far as her dad slut shaming her.
Yes.
And Kevin.
Yeah.
The men in this movie did not like Coyote Ugly, yet we're always at Coyote Ugly. Just saying.
Just saying.
Did you have any technology?
I did. There was a couple pieces that I haven't seen in a while. one of which was the old time card machines where it literally punches your card for you and time stamps it. Violet buys an Apple MacBook.
Oh, God, yes. I wanted one so bad.
Yes, the ones that were shaped like an apple.
Yeah.
And it was $1,600 in 2000.
That's pricey.
Yeah.
Because that's about how much if you want like a good MacBook Pro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that's nice to know they really haven't gone up in price in 20 years.
But they have gotten better memory.
Yeah.
So what you're getting for, I mean, you get more for your money.
For sure.
Today. I did like the scene where she was like recording music and she was burning CDs, and I was like, look at that hot CD burning action.
Yeah. Yeah. The mixing program that she was using had this cheesy...
It just looked like GarageBand.
Yeah.
But 20 years ago, GarageBand.
Mm-hmm.
Also, there was one scene where Violet and Kevin were in the busiest record store ever. And yeah, kind of made me a little sad, to be honest with you.
Aw.
I miss music stores.
Yeah. Her apartment she moves into is real divey, and the appliances are from like 1950.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which now would kind of be in, like cool retro-y appliances.
Right? As long as they worked fine.
Yeah.
That's all I had for this category. Would you like to move on?
Yes. Our next category is called Is It Even Good? Where we talk about the plot holes, the funniest moment, and cringiest moment. What is the plot?
I put, a woman moves to New York from New Jersey and works at a bar where women dance fully clothed, and somehow that brings shame to those closest to her.
That is a great description of the plot.
I couldn't get over the fact that was like a major conflict in the movie, was that her dad was ashamed of his daughter who was working at a bar where they danced on top of the bar. Mm-hmm. That she wasn't working in a strip club, which there's nothing wrong with working in a strip club.
No.
Got to make that money somehow.
Mm-mm.
And like the girls all wore pants. The most they did was show their midriff a little and maybe a little cleavage.
Yeah. Which I thought was funny that Bill said his coworkers, he works at a toll booth. Mm-hmm. His coworkers were hanging pictures of her in their booth.
Right. And the picture from the article was just her singing.
Yeah.
Wearing what I said, pants.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe showing her midriff. Yeah.
But
is it the fact that guys are going to ogle you? Because let's be honest, if guys find you attractive, they're going to fucking ogle you no matter what you're doing. If she was at a nice restaurant bar, which she ended up working at later in the movie when she gets fired from the Coyote Ugly, spoiler alert, there's guys going to be hitting on her and ogling her there. Like, women can't win.
No. Mm-mm.
You know?
Yeah.
I think more anything, it's more of a dated thing that was seen as like, oh my God, these women are dancing on the bar and how risque that they're showing their navels. And I'm like, what year is this?
Yeah. That was kind of, like you said, like a little bit of a plot hole.
Yeah.
I only had one, but it centers around a huge plot point, and that is Violet is moving from New Jersey to New York.
Mm-hmm.
They say it is 42 miles. She also tells her father, I'm going to come home every Sunday and do your laundry, and I'll see you every Sunday. And he's like, don't go. And they act like she's moving from New Jersey to California.
Right.
It's 42 miles.
Right. And I'm sure people commute. I'm sure there's people that live in New Jersey that commute to New York for work every day.
You're going to see your daughter once a week. You don't have to see your daughter every day. She has to grow up at some point. And like I said, just make that separation further.
Yeah.
And it's going to be more believable to me that you're going to be upset about it.
Right. And then on top of that, I thought the distance was a plot hole in the sense that she moves there and then she struggles to get her music heard, obviously. And then she didn't have like a job planned. I'm like, if I lived 40 minutes from where I was going to move, that would make it a lot easier for me to find a job before I even move.
Yeah.
But she's just like, no, I'm an artist, bro. I'm just gonna when I get there, I'm just gonna hand my tape to a guy and he's gonna go, you're amazing. You are now a famous songwriter.
It's 42 miles. I can't travel there a couple weeks ahead of time and start looking for job prospects. Yeah. That's not possible.
I think we were supposed to believe that she's really naive about it. And then there's this history in their family where her mom didn't make it. And that's why her dad's like, don't even try at first. He's like, because your mom didn't make it, which at the end of the movie, I'm pretty sure he said like she actually quit for him.
Yeah.
So she didn't even give it a chance. Mm-hmm. And spoiler alert, Violet barely gives it a chance because she, at the climax of the movie, is that the word?
Yes.
Like where, she's like, I got fired from Coyote Ugly. Everybody hates me. Nobody wants to listen to my music because they want me to perform and I have stage fright. She's like, I quit. And I'm like, you've been there like 3 months at most.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a lot of things centered around the just living only 40 minutes away from her family, where I'm just like, you didn't come from Ohio.
No. It's not that far.
No. Did you have any other ones?
No, that was a main one that I had.
Do you remember when I still want to like rewatch the beginning of the movie because at one point she's just sitting in her apartment and she's like petting a cat and we're like, where the fuck did that cat come from? Did she have that? Did she move with that cat or is that just a new cat? Like, who is this cat? I feel like people would be like, she had a cat in her hand when her best friend was dropping her off, but I don't remember that.
I don't remember that, yeah.
I notice animals.
Yeah.
They're more interesting usually than the humans.
We always notice animals.
The only other plot hole I had, and it was kind of small, was I felt like it was very uncharacteristic for Lil to go out of her way to call Violet's boyfriend Kevin and tell him that Violet was performing finally at the end. Because I'm like, she only met him once, and it was when he started a fight in the bar because he got jealous that the patron was trying to dance on Violet. She just doesn't seem like the person who would give a fuck. Like,
yeah.
Who's this douchebag? I'm not going to call him,
That's yeah. She'd be like, you were a pain in the ass in my bar. I don't care about you.
But, I guess it works for the movie. So then Kevin and Violet could,
Because Lil's that tough boss with a heart of gold.
Right. Yeah. But also a little bit of a, what's the word? What were most of our jobs? Hostile work environment.
Yes.
With her constant going like, I can fire you at any moment. Don't fuck up. And we have all these rules in our bar. Don't fuck up.
Yeah. Go ahead. Walk on eggshells. It'll be fun for you.
That will help you not fuck up more.
Yeah.
Is by fearing me at all times. Yeah. What was your funniest liner moment?
My funniest moment was at the very beginning. This is before Violet has moved. Her dad is reading the newspaper and he's just like, look at this. 4 dead in New York City last night. No reason given. He's like, their headline should say, millions survive New York.
I think that's kind of more of a plot hole too, because I feel like somebody that lives so close to New York would actually know like what New York is like known for is not actually how it happens. Like the crime rate actually isn't as bad as what the media makes it out to believe,
Yeah.
But he also is just trying to get his daughter to stay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was yours?
I just liked when it was the first night that Violet's working in the bar and Lila's kind of introducing her to all the characters. And she's like, that's Rachel. She's working on her anger management. And she's like, she just cut some guy's ponytail off. She's like, well, she's working on it.
Yeah, she's working on it.
What was your cringiest liner moment?
There was a good bar fight. The bar is just getting out of control. A group of guys grab Cammie off of the bar.
Right.
Some guys are stealing alcohol. But then Violet starts singing. And then everything starts calming down. Lil went from concerned about everything that was going on to happy about the singing, all in the matter of 4 minutes.
That's true.
But the highlight was later on, Rachel going, she sang along with the jukebox. Let's not polish her Grammy. But it was just a matter of going, okay, everything's going to hell. People are stealing shit. And everyone's freaking out too. Oh, she's singing?
Yeah.
Let's calm this down.
I guess the only thing I can say about Lila is maybe in her head, she's just like, I can market this. I can make more money from this.
Come see this pretty girl sing.
Yeah. But nobody actually likes watching people sing.
No.
Quote, crazy ex-girlfriend.
Yes.
Mine was just a random scene where, I think it was in the first scene, does Violet get a job at a diner? Or no, she's sitting at a diner.
She's sitting at the diner.
And that's when the 3 Coyote ugly girls walk in from a night working. And Zoe, Tyra Banks' character, is eating ketchup straight off of her finger. And I was like, ugh, I just hate ketchup.
Uh-huh.
Like the taste of it and the general taste of it. That it just disgusted me. I only like ketchup with French fries, but I would never eat it off my finger. So gross.
I can't say that I've never eaten it off my finger, but I have squeezed it directly into my mouth.
Yes.
It's my Facebook picture.
It's gross.
Yeah.
It's not your Facebook picture.
Well, shortly after that is my Facebook picture, and I'm pretty sure that is on my Facebook.
Oh,
though.
okay.
Yeah.
I was like, you haven't changed your Facebook picture in 15 years?
Yep.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You set it up for me, and I never changed it.
Did you have any random thoughts? Because I sure do.
Yes. I realize at the end of the movie, Violet has the worst relationship with a lot of people.
Yeah.
She has a terrible relationship with her father, who refused to give her a hug and wish her good luck when she was leaving.
Yes.
What the hell? She has a terrible relationship with Kevin. And then also, like you pointed out earlier, her father is ashamed of her.
Right.
And doesn't want to tell people what she's doing. Like, it's just... I don't think she's that bad of a person
Yeah.
to have these terrible relationships. Like, they should have made her more unlikable.
Right. She was actually, I was worried, and I think I mentioned this at the beginning of the episode, that before we watched the movie, that I thought she was going to be unlikable, and I thought she was. She was very good, girl next door, kind of naive. She just, I relate to the stage fright, so of course she had to figure out a way to, like, combat that, because that was the only way her music was going to get heard. Where I'm like, man, if this was 20 years later, all you had to do was record stuff and put it on YouTube.
Yeah, that's how
You
the Biebs got found.
Yeah, you don't even have to, like, be in front of people, because she didn't have a problem singing when she was by herself, you know?
Yeah.
I just could not get over how much her dad was, like, a dick to her, and then Kevin became a dick to her when he decided, like, even though she was working at that job when they met, and then he decided, like, oh, you're too good for this. Who are you? You've known her for 2 seconds, and she enjoys it.
Yeah.
It's a job she enjoys. Leave her the fuck alone.
Yeah. Don't judge her job.
Yeah.
Fucker.
Men. This movie I would have thought would have been written from a man, but it was actually written by a female, so.
Oh, okay. I would have thought it was written by a man as well.
Just the way that whole slut-shaming thing kind of comes into play a lot.
Yeah.
Just one thing I was like, not serving water at a bar? Well, that's just asking for your patrons to be dehydrated. And be getting drunk quicker. Like, give them water so that they
Buy
stay
more
hydrated
drinks.
and they'll buy more drinks.
Yeah. That's a good point. I did like that Kevin put a boot on his car so he could park it.
Oh, yeah, like a fake one.
A fake one. Because I'm pretty sure this is where my brother got the great idea when he was parking his car at ASU after hours, and he got a ticket. So then the next time he went to park his car, he just took the ticket out of the glove box and put it on the windshield, and like it was in an envelope. And we came out and we're like, yeah, it worked. Opened it up, the meter maid just put a second ticket in there.
I mean, that would have worked if there's like multiple meter maids, but there's probably only one, and she's probably like, I didn't ticket this car yet. I haven't even been over here all day.
It did not work. No.
You tried.
Yeah.
I think that's it for me.
I had one last one. Violet comes home and there's a box at her door, and it is all of her demo tapes that have been returned to her. And she's like, ugh, I give up. And she just dumps them over the side. She's on the 4th floor, dumps the tapes over the side of a banister. And I'm like, oh, yeah, good. Somebody else can clean those up.
Yeah.
You
also,
jerk.
What if somebody was walking? You're just going to hit them with a bunch of tapes? What if a child was walking?
Yeah.
It'd kill somebody.
Because your tape got returned to sender.
Yeah.
Jerk.
You think she'd know that record companies do not take unsolicited tapes. Has she ever watched Airheads?
Rookie mistake. When in doubt, watch a Beef Rage movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Specifically one about the music industry.
Yes. Don't go watch The Mummy. It
Yeah.
won't make sense when you're trying to become an artist.
I'm sure maybe she could find something to relate to in that movie.
Yeah.
Also, I read a fun fact. I never realized this, but LeAnn Rimes did sing all of Violet's parts throughout the movie. So Piper Perabo did not do any of the singing, allegedly.
Okay.
Yeah, which I always find hilarious in older movies when that happens, because I'm like, there's a lot of really talented people out there. You couldn't find one actress that could sing?
Yeah.
Because I can name tons of actresses that can sing and act.
Yeah. Why do that when we can just pay LeAnn Rimes?
That's true. You want to move on to our final thoughts or take a break?
Take a quick break.
Okay.
Okay. And we're back. We're going to go ahead and decide whether or not this movie held up to our adult standards. What do you think?
I think I said it wasn't going to, but I think it does.
Okay.
I thought it was still really watchable, and the main character is somebody you do want to root for. I liked most of the characters, and it's obviously cheesy and a rom-com, and, you know, everything works out at the end, and her life's perfect, but for that kind of movie, it wasn't bad. And I thought there were some very feminist themes in there. You know, I think the women were empowered to just be themselves and enjoy working at that job.
Yeah.
And not being ashamed.
No, I
of it.
totally agree. I thought it held up. It was well written. Still a fun watch 20-something years later. A lot of the characters were pretty well developed for the most part. It's a fun movie.
I think this movie, I realized that it's a movie that attracted both men and women because it does have that like rom-com feel. So anybody that likes rom-coms, not just women, you know, it has that. But then it also has, you know, attractive women dancing on a bar. Again, not naked whatsoever.
No.
But, you know, 16-year-old boys, they take what they can get. A navel.
As a 16-year-old boy, I can agree.
I was just thinking if this movie was made 100 years ago, it would be like women showing their ankle. And they'd be like, oh my God. I mean, that's why skirts were invented, was because table skirts were invented because men got sexually aroused by table legs. So, fun fact.
Fun fact. Men are gross.
So, we both think it holds up. So, we get to announce the Holds Up Award.
Yes.
I'm not good at naming things. The first award is the Thomas J. Hanks Award for Exceptional Acting. Who did you give yours to?
I gave mine to Maria Bello. I liked her as the tough boss. I loved the fact that Violet at one point was like, but you're my friend. And she was very quick to point out, she's like, I'm not your friend, I'm your boss. Which is, I think, something that a lot of us have a problem differentiating between our at work. But it was a good character. She was, you know, tough because she's running this successful business. She's a woman. I don't know where I was going with that.
She was a woman, yes.
Yeah, she was a woman. But yeah, she was my favorite part.
Okay.
Even more so than Piper Perabo.
I gave mine to Piper Perabo because I was just expecting to not really like her at all. And then I remembered why I did like this movie when I was younger was because I totally related to her. And I also was a naive dummy when it came to thinking that I could be a singer or songwriter, whatever. But the fact that she had stage fright and that she don't know, she just made really dumb mistakes sometimes, but she was relatable,
Yeah.
I think.
No, but she was a very likable character and easy to root for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is, again, why I was confused why they have her have terrible relationships with people. Because I'm like, she's likable.
Yeah, it just makes you think, like, why does she attract so many shitty people in her life?
Yeah. Our next award is the Stanley Tucci Award for scene stealing.
Yeah.
Who did you give your award to?
I gave mine to Bridget Moynihan
Okay.
as Rachel. I think she was supposed to be the mean girl. You know, like, in most movies, there's always, like, the girl that doesn't like the main character. But she's actually pretty relatable and hilarious. And I think, in a way, ahead of her time as a female character, because there's not a lot of depictions of there's not a lot of depiction of female anger. in movies and TV. I think now there is. I think there was a time where anger is stereotypically a male emotion, and women don't have it apparently.
No.
But guess what? We do.
I don't believe you. I've never seen you angry.
But yeah, all the parts of the movie that were pretty funny were centered around her.
No, I agree. I kept it in that realm, and I gave my scene stealing award to Isabella Mikko as Cammy, because I felt like she stole all the scenes that she was in. Ironically, when we decided to put this movie up there, I remember Bridget Moynihan and Tyra Banks were in this movie. I forgot this lady was even in it.
Yeah.
So then it was a nice, delightful surprise that she was just this fun, silly character.
Yeah. And I like any characters, especially female characters, that are very, like, just confident in themselves, or they just, like, she doesn't have the same hang-ups as Violet. She's just like, this is me. And that's how most of the female characters are in this. They're very much like, yeah, I'm a bitch. Or like Lil. She's like, I'm not your friend.
No.
I'm your boss. And I'm running a business, and I can't just allow you, person I've known for 2 weeks, to fuck up my business.
Yeah.
Is that the end?
I think that's it.
Did we talk about everything?
Yeah, we both agree. Movie held up. I did want to mention very good soundtrack.
Oh, for show.
Within 10 minutes of the movie, you get 2 different versions of I Will Survive. It had Unbelievable, that song from like 1990.
Yeah. EMF.
Yeah. Devil Went Down to Georgia.
Yeah. There was a lot of, obviously, great tunes at the bar. And it's funny because whenever I think of this movie, I think of the bar in Las Vegas.
Yes.
Which, fun fact, is not as popular.
No.
But when it is like on a Friday night, I remember the first couple years we went, there was just a long line of guys. And I remember the bouncers were like, any women want to come in this bar? Like, they were like begging women who were walking by to come in the bar because it was just a sausage fest.
My brother actually messaged me and wanted me to say the thing that one of the bouncers had said to him one time, which was, it's like, I think, what did he say? It's like a bunch of pigs fighting over a piece of bacon because it's nothing but men in there and one woman.
Why would pigs fight over a piece of bacon?
I can't remember what the thing. It was a very like you said, they're like, any women, please, women, come in here. It's nothing but guys. Yeah. Please come on in. I'm like, no, I'm good. Yeah. That doesn't look like my scene. I'm surprised that thing is still there.
It is. It does give me a good chuckle every time we're in the New York.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's it, guys. We'll be back with the poll on Thursday. We'll let you know what the picks are, obviously. When you go to our Instagram stories, we'll have the poll up. So, is that it?
I think that's it.
All right. See you next week, or talk to you next week, or we'll talk to you, or you'll listen to us. I don't know.
Have a great week, everybody.
You too. Yeah, you too.
You too.